Hi, fourth graders. So today, this afternoon, we are going to be visited by author Ann Dodd. Ann Dodd is a Maine author who's written a lot of really great books. When we meet with her today, we're going to be listening in on an interview of her and how she became such a great writer. So in order to do that, I thought it'd be nice to read through one of her stories. So we're going to be reading the story of the sea glass. Nana, Nana, I found a shell, Nicole shouted. Nana smiled as she watched her granddaughter skip dance her way back through the sunseekers on the crowded city beach. Nicole handed a black and somewhat slimy shell to her grandmother. It's small and a little bit broken. But it is a shell, Nana said, and shells are very hard to find. Oh, Nicole, how could you love the sea? I knew when I was a child. Tell me, tell me about your island. Nicole loved hearing about long, long ago and far away, even when her grandmother told the same stories again and again. Nana leaned back on the beach towel and closed her eyes. Oh, my island. Blue skies seemed to hug the sea. The air was scented with salt and rose, and the raspberries that grew in the thicket beside the house were the sweetest I ever tasted. What about the beach, Nana? Tell me about your beach. Well, it wasn't a big sandy beach like this. There were only small patches of sand squeezed in among many rocks. But under their seaweed cover, sometimes I found tiny starfish hiding. And when I climbed the rocks or walked at the water's edge, I could be alone with wind and waves and seabirds soaring overhead. The island was such a special place. So many years ago, it would be wonderful to see my home again. Couldn't we go there? Nicole asked. Can we take a trip together when school is out? What a splendid idea, Nana said, and hugged Nicole. But it will be a very, very long ride in the car. I don't mind that, Nana. I want to see your island and your house. Besides, we can sing and tell stories on the way. As Nana and Nicole watched the red sun set, they planned the summer journey. As soon as Nana parked the car down the road from the old house, Nicole scampered out to stretch her legs. Oh, Nana, your house is so small. Can we go inside? I want to see. The house did look a lot smaller than Nana remembered. Small island. Small house, Nicole. I'm sorry, we can't disturb the new owners, but we can walk along the beach. So hand in hand they climbed down a rocky path to the water. The scent of sea roses blooming on the bank mixed with the tang of salt in the air. Seagulls screeched in the sky above. As Nana and Nicole explored the beach, they filled their pockets with tiny periwinkles, sun-bleached clamshells, and sea glass. Even though they found one beautiful lavender piece of sea glass and a few blue ones, most of the pieces were green, white, or brown. After a while, a disappointed Nicole said, I wish we could find some other colors. Then, at the same time, Nicole and Nana both saw it. There in the sand, still wet from the receding tide, gleamed a small piece of beautiful red beach glass. No, this can't be, Nana said aloud. What can't be what? Is this a jewel? Nicole asked. Nana reached down and picked up the glass. No, it isn't a jewel, but this red glass reminds me of a story. Come, Nicole, let's find a good rock to sit on. You'll soon see why I've never told you this story. I think it happened when I was about the age you are now. One summer day I was very restless, just as you sometimes get. School was out and I couldn't think of anything interesting to do, so I wandered from room to room. When I came to the door of the parlor, I saw the sunlight splashing across the floor. It stretched up to the mantel, where in its special place the red vase gleamed. It seemed as if the vase were calling, "Pick me up, pick me up." Now I knew that playing in the parlor was not allowed. In fact, no one ever sat on the stiff-backed sofa and itchy chairs there except when company came to call. And the parlor was filled with things that break. Do not touch, my mother must have reminded me 100 times. That vase especially is off limits to you. It's one of your great-grandmother's most prized wedding gifts. But the vase was red, my favorite color. Like a very powerful magnet, it pulled me right into the room. And of course, I could not resist picking it up. Using both hands, I carried the vase to the sunniest window, and when I held it up, I realized I could still see the sea and sky. But through the crimson glass, everything looked different. White feathered clouds, crisp blue sky, gray-green sea, and frost-tipped waves were now all softly shaded in rose and red. It seemed like magic. I could not put the vase down. Then suddenly, something brushed my leg. I jumped. The vase crashed to the floor. Broken glass scattered everywhere. Nicole interrupted. "But what brushed your leg, Nana?" "My cat, Mino. My naughty cat." I hurried to pick up the pieces of glass before my mother could see that the vase was broken on the floor. Being careful not to cut myself on the sharp edges, I quickly gathered the glass in the folds of my dress. I checked to see that my mother was busy in the kitchen, and then sneaked by to get to the shore. It was a moon tide. That's what we call the tide that goes much lower than usual. I had to walk very far out, past the spot where we usually dumped the cracked canning jars and chipped china cups. I climbed over the slippery rocks to reach the water's edge. With a huge sigh of relief, I tossed the broken glass into the ocean. Of course, my mother happened to dust that day, and she noticed right away that the vase was missing. But she didn't blame Minnow. It was all my fault. I got a terrible scolding and was sent to my room without any supper. I remember thinking about Humpty Dumpty. You know the rhyme about all the king's horses and all the king's men? Like Humpty Dumpty, that vase could never be put back together again. I felt sad and had a very hard time getting to sleep that night. After that summer, we moved to the city, and even though many years have passed, I have never forgotten about the red vase. Whenever I see a red sun rising or setting, or red leaves in the fall, I think, if only I had saved just one piece of that special red glass. Nana held the red sea glass up to the sun. I thought the sea would hide by mistake, but maybe the sea fooled me. You know, it's amazing how the sea can take a shard of jagged broken glass and keep it for years, tossing and pounding it until it becomes sea glass, smooth and round. This red glass is frosted now, but I can't see through it. It can't give its rose-colored world I saw through the magical red vase. Yet the sun makes it glow in a wonderful new way. Here, Nicole, hold it up and see for yourself. Nana got up and pulled Nicole to her feet. "Come, let's search some more. Perhaps we can find some other pieces of red sea glass, and maybe more of your favorite blue. We'll connect enough to make sun catchers. Then, when sunlight hits the sea glass in the window at home, we'll always remember this special place and this time together. Just you and me." What is sea glass? Sometimes nature has a way of transforming trash into something beautiful. And so it is the broken glass people throw away at the edge of the sea. Worn smooth by time and tides, sea glass, or beach glass, can be found buried in the sand, caught in the crevices of the rocks, or just lying on the surface of the beach. The best pieces look like precious stones. They gleam when they are wet. Part of the fun is trying to guess what the glass used to be. White, green, and brown sea glass comes mostly from soda, wine, and beer bottles. Those colors are the easiest to find. Lavender and aqua glass often come from very old bottles or canning jars. It is much harder to find. If you are lucky, you may find blue glass from an old medicine bottle or cold cream jar. A red glass, perhaps from a vase like the one Nana broke, or the tail light of an old car, is special because it is very rare. Today, more and more items are made from plastic. People also are more careful not to throw their trash in the ocean. This means that sea glass is getting harder to find. Even though it will never have the value of silver or gold, sea glass is fun to collect and display, either wet or dry in a jar in a sunny window. Many items can be made from sea glass too. Jewelry, sunglass catchers, paperweights, and mobiles, to just name a few. Of course, a very smooth, rounded piece can just be carried in a pocket and used as a worry stone in the same way many Greeks used to worry beads. All right, my friends, so that's our reading of our story today. This afternoon for Wonderful Wednesday, we are going to check out and meet Miss Ann Dodd. So as you do, think about how she wrote this story and how maybe you can think about some of the things that she used in order to make this story extra strong. See you then!